Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online. Today we are abandoning the surface level and diving deep into a transformation that is rewriting the operating system of our entire civilization. We are exploring the circular bioeconomy. This is not just about recycling or planting a few more trees. It is a fundamental reimagining of the material world. To understand why this is urgent, we have to look at where we stand right now. For 2 centuries, the engine of human progress has been fueled by a linear philosophy known as take, make, waste. We extract ancient carbon from the ground in the form of fossil fuels, we turn it into fleeting conveniences like single-use plastics, and then we discard it into landfills or the atmosphere. While this model has been productive for industrial growth, it is biologically incompatible with the planet's operating system. We are standing at a precipice, and the circular bioeconomy, or CBE, is the bridge to the other side. So what exactly is it? It is the marriage of 2 powerful concepts. First, the bioeconomy, which substitutes fossil fuels with renewable biological resources. Second, the circular economy, which eliminates waste by keeping materials in use. Together, they form a symbiotic framework where biology, chemistry, and engineering converge to build a world that functions like a forest. In a forest, nothing is wasted. Every output from one process is an input for new life. That is the goal. To understand this properly, we need to look beyond the simple idea of being green. Recycling a plastic bottle is just a delay tactic. The circular bioeconomy is a transformation strategy. It relies on a scientific principle called Cascading Biomass Use. This means biological resources are processed in stages to extract the maximum value possible before they ever return to the earth. The heart of this revolution is the modern biorefinery. The oil refinery defined the 20th century, cracking crude oil into fuel and plastics. The biorefinery will define the 21st century, but instead of cracking oil, it fractionates biomass. Imagine taking wood, algae, or agricultural residue and breaking it down into a spectrum of valuable molecules. It works in tiers. The first extraction targets the high-value top tier. These are pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, and fine chemicals. We are talking about extracting antioxidants from olive mill wastewater or anti-inflammatory agents from forestry bark. Once those high-value molecules are harvested, we move to the material middle tier. The remaining cellulose and lignin are transformed into bioplastics, biochemicals, and textile fibers. Finally, only the unrecoverable residues are used for the energy foundation, creating biofuels, biogas, or returning to the soil as biochar to sequester carbon. The engine driving this new economy is synthetic biology. We are no longer just harvesting nature, we are partnering with it. By editing the genetic code of microbes like yeast, bacteria, and algae, bioengineers are turning single-cell organisms into microscopic factories. This leads us to precision fermentation. This technology allows us to brew complex proteins like milk, casein, or egg whites without the cow or the chicken. It uses a fraction of the land and water, producing food that is chemically identical to the animal version but created in a stainless steel tank. Furthermore, we are seeing the rise of enzymatic recycling. Nature has enzymes that break down leaves and trees. Scientists are now engineering superenzymes capable of devouring PET plastic bottles in hours, breaking them down into their original monomers so they can be rebuilt into virgin quality plastic. This creates an infinite loop that traditional mechanical recycling simply cannot achieve. This shift in science is leading to a materials revolution. We are moving from an age of inert, dead materials like concrete and steel to an age of living, breathing, responsive materials. Consider bioplastics. Traditional plastics persist for centuries, but next-generation polyhydroxyalkanoates, or PHAs, are game changers. Produced by bacteria fermentation, PHAs are polyesters that behave like plastic but degrade like wood. If a PHA fork ends up in the ocean, it becomes fish food within months, not a microplastic hazard for centuries. Then we have mycelium. This is the root structure of mushrooms. It is being engineered to replace polystyrene foam and even bricks. By feeding agricultural waste like corn stalks or sawdust to mycelium in a mold, we can grow packaging materials, insulation panels, and even vegan leather in a matter of days. These materials are fire-resistant, insulating, and fully compostable. Perhaps most impressive is nanocellulose. Trees are composed of cellulose fibers. When these fibers are broken down to the nanoscale, they form a material that is 8 times stronger than stainless steel by weight. It is transparent and conductive. We are using it to create flexible electronics, super strong biodegradable composites, and wound dressings that accelerate healing. Now, let's look at how this overlays onto our major economic sectors, starting with agriculture. The old model treated soil as a sponge to be squeezed dry. The new model treats soil as a bank account to be compounded. This involves the valorization of waste. In a circular bioeconomy, the concept of waste is simply a failure of imagination. Pineapple leaves are being turned into luxury leather alternatives like Pinatex. Citrus peels are converted into pectin and limonene. We generate 1.3 billion tons of food waste annually. And in this model, that is not trash. It is a massive, untapped reservoir of energy and chemical feedstock. We are also seeing the rise of biochar and carbon farming. By converting agricultural residues into biochar, a stable form of carbon, and burying it, farmers can sequester carbon for centuries while improving soil water retention. This is a negative emission technology that reverses climate change while growing food. In the textiles sector, we are dressing the future with man-made cellulosic fibers. The wood-to-wardrobe movement uses technologies like lyocell to turn wood pulp into soft, breathable fabrics, using closed-loop solvent systems that recycle 99% of the chemicals. Designers are even creating garments coated with living algae that absorb carbon dioxide as you wear them, turning the consumer into a walking carbon sink. In construction, we are seeing the built environment become a carbon store. Concrete and steel are responsible for immense CO2 emissions. The circular bioeconomy proposes mass timber and cross-laminated timber. These engineered wood products allow us to build skyscrapers that are lighter, fire-resistant, and earthquake-safe. Crucially, a timber building locks away the carbon the trees absorbed during their growth. Cities of the future will act as forests, storing carbon in their very framework. To fully appreciate the magnitude of this shift, we must also look at the blue bioeconomy. While land resources are strained, the oceans remain an untapped frontier. Algae biorefineries are utilizing microalgae, the fastest-growing plants on Earth. They can be grown in brackish water or desert land, meaning they do not compete with food crops, yet they are rich in oil for biofuels and proteins for food. We also see cascading marine value. Fish processing waste, such as heads, bones, and shells, is no longer discarded. Chitin from shrimp shells is turned into chitosan, a biopolymer used in biodegradable packaging and medical bandages. Even fish skin is being tanned into high-end leather. This connects to the broader waste-to-wealth vector. A defining characteristic of this economy is reclassifying waste as misallocated resources. Take lignin valorization, for example. Lignin is the tough glue that holds trees together and is a massive byproduct of the paper industry, often just burned for low-grade heat. New catalytic processes are breaking lignin down into bioaromatics, which can replace toxic phenols in glues and resins. We are also seeing urban biocycles, where technologies recover phosphorus from wastewater sludge, closing the loop by returning essential nutrients from city toilets back to farm fields. Underpinning all of this is digitalization and AI. Science in the bioeconomy isn't just wet labs. It is silicon chips. Precision agriculture uses AI-driven drones to minimize water and fertilizer use. Material informatics uses AI to simulate millions of potential bio-based molecular structures, slashing research and development time from decades to months. Economically, this is a massive engine. Critics often view sustainability as a cost, but the data proves it is an investment. The World Business Council for Sustainable Development estimates the circular bioeconomy offers a $7.7 trillion economic opportunity by 2030. This growth comes from decoupling. For the first time, economic growth does not require digging more holes in the ground. By circulating existing biomaterials, companies can grow revenue while shrinking their resource footprint. This also drives a rural renaissance. The fossil economy concentrated wealth in geological hotspots like oil fields. The bioeconomy distributes wealth to wherever the sun shines and plants grow. Biorefineries must be located near their feedstock, bringing high-tech jobs to rural areas. We are also seeing new business models like product as a service. We are seeing the rise of chemical leasing, where a farmer doesn't buy pesticide but pays for crop protection. The chemical company retains ownership of the substance, incentivizing them to make it efficient rather than selling as much volume as possible. Of course, there are challenges. We face the food versus fuel debate. We must ensure that using crops for bioplastics does not drive up food prices. The solution lies in second and third generation feedstocks, using non-food biomass like straw, husks, and waste. We also face biodiversity risks. A bioeconomy that encourages monocultures is a failure. True circularity demands biodiverse feedstocks, mimicking natural ecosystems. Finally, there is the issue of scale and cost. Fossil fuels are artificially cheap because they do not pay for their environmental damage. Governments must level the playing field through carbon taxes and green procurement policies. Globally, we see success stories. Europe's Green Deal is funding flagship biorefineries. Brazil's Renova Bio program is creating a thriving market for bioethanol. China is investing billions in synthetic biology to transition its manufacturing base away from coal. Ultimately, the circular bioeconomy is about the human element. It revalues the role of the farmer and the forester, transforming them from suppliers of raw commodities into guardians of complex carbon cycles. It is a return to logic. Nature has operated a circular bioeconomy for 3.8 billion years. There are no landfills in a rainforest. There is no waste in a coral reef. By harnessing the precision of genetics, the power of enzymes, and the wisdom of circular systems, we are moving from an era of exploitation to an era of collaboration with our biosphere. The science is ready, the economics are proven, the revolution has begun. Thanks for listening to Fun Facts Online.